Ramadan is almost over. Now what? If you're watching this before Eid, and I hope you are, then this is a question that you're asking yourself, and even if it's not something you're voicing, you're vocalizing, it is something that you are thinking about because, whether you believe it or not, I mean, this Ramadan has been the quickest one that I've ever experienced, and a lot of people have said the same. Like this one, just to put it in perspective, when I was a kid, when I was like 8, 9 years old, 6 days of Ramadan used to feel like 3 weeks. I'd be like, when is going to be the half point so we can feel like the month is actually progressing? But now it's the other way around. Like 3 weeks have passed, almost 4 weeks at this point, and it feels like it's only been like 4 or 5 days, which just goes to show that the prediction or the prophecy of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said that time will move fast as the day of judgment approaches, which is a very scary hadith when you think about it. It just puts this into perspective that we are living in very unique times, and this is something that is a challenge that we have to deal with. But I want to go back to the question I asked. Now what? Where do we go from here? And what you have to understand is that if you are watching this before Eid, you are in such a golden moment right now. You don't realize how much of a golden moment you are in, because I want to take you back. I want to take you back to just like a day or two before Ramadan started, and you were like, oh, like Allahumma ballighna Ramadan, ballighna Ramadan. Let me, allow me to reach Ramadan, allow Ramadan to be safe for me, and I'm able to reach it, and I'm able to do everything that I need to do. And you were in this moment of excitement. And you were just like, oh, I can't wait for the month to come, and I'll be able to do this, I'll be able to pray, I'll be able to read Quran, I'll be at the masjid more, I'll do all this stuff. And you were so excited, and you were so like, just waiting for the month to come. And you almost had the sense of, this fear almost, where you were just like, I hope I make it. I hope I'm not one of those people who, Allah is waiting for them to leave this world before Ramadan comes. Because we're not in control of that. A lot of people, they wish, they prayed for Ramadan, but they didn't make it, and Allah had other plans for them in terms of how their life was going to pan out. But He chose you to reach this month. So I mean, I want you to go back to that moment. Like I said, how excited you were just to get in, in the month, and just be there at the first night, whether it's at home or in the masjid or wherever you are, and just fully embrace that Ramadan has started now. Like, just think about that. You were so excited for that. Now, at the end of the month, I want you to bring that back. I want you to pretend like the next day, 2, 3, whatever you have left, pretend like they're the first 3 days of Ramadan. Act as if they're the first 3 days of Ramadan. And how are you pushing yourself? You're like, oh, I'm going to read so much Quran. I'm going to go to the masjid. I'm going to pray. I'm going to, stay up at night. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to fast with sincerity. I'm not just going to watch my just not eat or drink. I'm going to watch my tongue. I'm going to watch my gaze. I'm going to not listen to music. I'm going to do all this stuff. Bring that back. Bring that back, because the first couple of days of Ramadan, the last days of Ramadan, you know what's common about them? It's still Ramadan. It's still the month of forgiveness. It's still the month of the Quran. It's still there. It's not like the end of Ramadan is like, it's like it's over. No, it's over when it's over. When you see the moon for Eid, that's when it's over. Not a moment before then. 5 minutes before the moon is sighted, 5 minutes before Maghrib, it's still Ramadan. So act like it. Take advantage of this moment. Take advantage of the next couple of days. However much you have left. Even if you see this an hour before Eid, you are still in Ramadan. I want you to realize that. I want you to truly internalize that. You are still in Ramadan, so act like it. And, I don't want to drag this video on for too long. I don't want to, say too much, because even for me, for me, the reason I'm even recording this is because, whoever guides to something good will get the reward of whoever gets does the good deed. So I hope if this inspires even one person, that, your deeds, the reward of me kind of pushing you towards that is on my scale. So yes, I mean, there's like some incentive for me to do this in terms of like me, my relationship with Allah. But at the end of the day, like, I cannot stress the point I'm just making, that we are still in Ramadan. Now, that being said, I do want to address like 2 very common pitfalls that people fall into when it comes to this. last week or so, or just like after the khatam has happened at your masjid, or you finish the Quran for yourself, and there's like this weird kind of like in your mind this awkward lull or this awkward period where like you're like, I could start something, like I'd start the Quran again, but it's only gonna be like, a juz or two before Eid comes up. So I want to break down two very common pitfalls that people fall into. One is despair or regret, and this is almost destructive, because this is, shaitan, he's chained up. We don't know what the form that looks like, but it's almost like him, kind of like you can hear his echoes from afar. Like you can almost hear him like in jail kind of yelling at you and saying like, oh, Ramadan's almost over, bro, you didn't do what you're supposed to do, like what are you gonna do after Eid now? Like all those whispers. Like maybe it's your nafs, like I don't know, I'm not a scholar, I'm not gonna speculate on what this means, but you're in that moment of like regret. You're like, I wish I did more, or I wish I didn't mess up like the way I did. I wish. And we know what the Prophet ﷺ says, that don't say I wish I did this or wish I did that, because that is a trap from shaitan. That's shaitan messing with you. He's chained up. I mean, for sure, he's 100% chained up. That does not mean his influence is not still there. Because until our souls leave our bodies, he's still our enemy. Even at the last moments, he's going to be there trying to make us slip. Say something, do something, believe something that will just eternally damn us. That's his goal. And he gets desperate at that moment. And, like Ramadan is like a reflection of life. As you're approaching the end of Ramadan, it's like you're approaching the end of your life. This is when Ramadan, like shaitan, again, he's chained up, but like he starts telling you things, or you start believing things where like, I messed up, I didn't read Quran as much as I could, I said I was going to do 2 khatams this Ramadan, but I only did like maybe half. I said I was not going to listen to music, or like waste time on my phone, or like just spend time with people who aren't good for me. I still did that. I went to all these Ramadan, these iftars, and I wasn't really planning on doing that, but I just kind of caved into family pressure, or my friends were just like inviting me almost every night, and I just went. I should have just prayed. All these different things that you're thinking about. Don't brush them under the rug. Don't just be like, oh, it's fine. That's not okay. That's not the mindset of a Muslim. A Muslim takes accountability. They are responsible for their actions. But you have to understand, go back to what I said in the very beginning. We're still in Ramadan. This is still a time for you to make up for those mistakes. And you're like, well, how can I make up for 27, 28 days of messing up or not doing what I'm supposed to do? You're dealing with Allah. You think He can't take 2 days and make them way more than 28 days? You're dealing with Allah. You're not dealing with an accountant who's like, the numbers are the numbers. So like, you have to, 28 days is more than 2 days. No. You're dealing with Allah. Think about the Laylatul Qadr, better than 1,000 months, 83 years. You think numbers mean anything to Allah? You think any of that means anything to Him? He's in control. Numbers, metrics, timelines, they mean nothing, because they're creations of His. He bends them, He breaks them as He wills. So believe that 2 days, 3 days of Ramadan, the next, whatever remaining, could weigh more than 20, 28, 27 days of the month has passed. You have to believe that. So that's the first trap, where people, and it's understandable, you start getting into this rut, or you're just like, oh, I wasted the month. Don't do that. You're still in it, you're still in the race, and believe that Allah can change what you accomplish or what you earn during these next few days. The last one, the second trap, is almost equally as destructive, where it's like, it's party mode. Eid is here. Like, okay, we did the khatam at my masjid, we're good to party now. No. What are you doing, bro? No. This is like you running a marathon. You see the finish line. You just turn a corner. You see the finish line. You're like, yes, I won. I see the finish line. It's over. Let me just like take a break. Let me drink some water. Let me hide. Let me just stretch a little bit because it's right there. I won. No. You win when you cross the finish line. Not when you see the finish line. I'm going to say that one more time. You win when you cross the finish line, not when you see the finish line. Seeing the finish line should motivate you. It should push you harder. It should make you slow down. You see it. Now you have something to work towards. And there's I don't know if it's a hadith, but I'm just, it's a I guess a saying. Maybe it is a hadith where the night before Eid is the night of reward. And I'm not going to speculate or talk about the exact virtues of what that means, but it's like you put in manual labor for like a whole month, didn't get the the salary at every 2 weeks like we do with a job. We get to the very end, you've done the work, you've done the project, and you go up to your boss and you're like, okay, now pay me because I did what I was supposed to do. That's what the night of just before Eid is, the night of reward. You get your salary, so to speak, from Allah. So don't let up. Don't let up. You're still in the game. You're still in the race. The race hasn't ended. And to kind of bring a gym analogy into this, because I like doing that, because a lot of people are like, just to kind of help with teaching, because the way I see myself is not like as a coach or like, just another guy. I see myself as a teacher, because I've always been good at it, being a tutor to other people, to other friends, things like that. Think of the gym. So when you're in a workout, say you went to the gym, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go hit chest. And you drove, you got out of your bed, you put on your shoes, you put on your clothes, you got your pre-workout, you got in the car, you drove to the gym, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is. You park, you walk inside, you put your clothes away, you warm up, then you start hitting the weights. And you're at this point where like it's the last 2 exercise. Maybe it's like the dumbbell fly, and it's like, and maybe some triceps. And you're like, I'm so tired. And like, I wish I had hit bench a bit more. I could have done like 5, 10, 20 pounds more. Or I wish I had had better mind muscle connection. You're still in the gym though. You haven't left the gym yet. It's not like you packed up your bags. Oh, that was a waste of a workout because I didn't hit my PR on bench. I'm quitting. I'm leaving. You didn't do that. Nor were you like, hey, like, I hit the gym, so like I did 1 set of bench. Time to time to go home and eat a fat post-workout meal because I hit no. You're still in the gym. You still have more than enough energy, so make the most of it. That's that fine line. What I'm trying to explain is like there's a fine line that you are walking right now. Where on the one hand, you don't want to quit because you just didn't get what you wanted out of it. You can still push your muscles to failure and still get a solid pump, a solid workout. Nor do you want to be like, hold yourself to a super low standard where you're like, hey, I hit bench, I hit a PR, time to go home. No. You can still do more. You can still push yourself, and you can still get to the point where you are just fatigued, and you've just you've hit that point of just exhausting your muscles. You're like, okay, like I did what I was supposed to do. I'm proud of the work I put in. That fine line is where you're walking right now. So I know I was talking about the gym, but I'm really trying to explain Ramadan to you guys, to one person. You got this. Inshallah, Allah's got you. I hope you see this before Ramadan ends. I hope you see this before Eid. Because if you do, like I said, even if it's 20 minutes before Eid, you're waiting in the masjid before Maghrib, and you're like, it's a bittersweet moment for you. And you just see this video pop up as you're trying to find something to watch before, the month ends. I hope this finds you. I hope it does. Because I know that, for me, growing up, like when I was in high school or college, I wasn't really as connected to my faith as I am now. I wish I had something like this, where someone told me that, hey, you got this. It hasn't ended yet. And just to kind of close out on this is how we should approach our life. Ramadan is a reflection of our life. You know, we go through struggle, we go through pain, we hold ourselves back from haram. You know, we give even when we don't want to, we pray, we fast even when we're tired. And at the end of it, we hope that, you know, Eid is a moment of celebration for us because we can look back and feel good about what we did. Not in a way of like, oh, like, you know, I'm good. But that, you know, I hope Allah accepted this. And that's what this life is. And Eid is a symbolic representation of when we meet Allah. When we meet Allah on the Day of Judgment, and we can feel good about what we did. And we can hope that He will forgive us, that He will give us paradise. So, once again, my brother, my sister, if you're watching this, whoever this is, you got this. Allah's with you. Make the most of this. Keep me in your du'as. And let's go. Don't waste any time. You got this. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.